Hey everyone, Stefan here. Happy, what do we got? Thursday today. Man, the days just fly by. So much going on, so much activity. Yeah, it's been a long day and really successful day. Really happy with the way things are moving. But yeah, glad to be back. Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Stefan Roost, founder of Laguna and developers behind Truth Network, Truth.network, and Index, Truflation.com. So check those out, Truflation.com and Truth.network. Anyway, I'll go into a bit more of what we've been up to, but basically on the show, what I do is cover off a couple of macro points, go into detail around what we're doing at Truflation, and then discuss some things on some of your Q&As that you have, AMAs, or anything that you might have. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, as well as on LinkedIn, or even over on Twitter and Telegram. Truflation, TRUflation. Check those out. Anyway, yeah, it's been a crazy couple of days, eh? I mean, it's like insane. Lots going on. First level, on a macro level, the PPI came in, and so I'm going to share some information on that. What is the PPI? It's the Producer Price Index. So that's what producers or manufacturers pay for the goods, right? So it's the cost of goods sold in the retail. So that's what your manufacturer pays for the components, the parts that get included into the production of products. This came in at 3%, which is 0.4% higher than what was expected. So yeah, a lot higher, right? 3.0 PPI, and it was expected at 2.6. So quite a significant amount higher. Yeah. So after having revised the inflation, so the numbers have gone up, right? And if you remember at Truflation.com, we said that inflation was going to go up. And you can see here for the first time, we predicted again accurately 2.7. So if you were watching inflation, you will know that we were up and accurately predicting that number. And what's going on here? Yeah, so you can actually see Truflation. Here, I'm just going to go and do something else here. You saw that we hit, I have to enter the app, sorry. And then in the app, I want to go to just USA inflation, not aggregated. I want US inflation rate. And here, look how fast we are now. Wow, you can't see that because you're behind my screen. I unfortunately closed the tab. But yeah, we predicted 2.7. You saw that in the report, and you can see that in our blog over here. Open link in new tab. So we reported in the blog. This was 2 days beforehand. And this is if you're a customer, you get this in advance. But here we predicted 2.7%. And spot on again, once again, Oliver and the Truflation team shine significantly. So really good to see that. And again, so inflation's gone up, right? So it went from 2.6 to 2.7. Truflation, for the first time, again, broke above 3%. So here we broke 3%. And what do we know about Truflation.com? Truflation's real-time index is 2 weeks ahead from a trending perspective to that of the government metrics. And it's announced today. So you have to wait a month to catch up on the 2 weeks advance notice that we have anyway. So you have 1.5 months lead time based on the decision that inflation is going to pick up again. So what does that mean? We've seen interest rates, inflation go up here. We saw Truflation go up to above 3%. Government inflation went up. We have the PPI inflation going up to 3%. So producers are paying more, which will result in a pass on to the retail product. So the pricing at retail will go up. At the same time, can you guys explain this to me? What does this mean and how does that work? The market is still anticipating an increase, a 25 basis points decrease. Why is that? Can anybody explain why that is, right? Not only is 95% of the market anticipating a 25 bips decrease, so is this on Kalshi. So you see this on Polymarket and on Kalshi, both 95%. I actually think it's actually going to be flat. Why would he raise rates? The only reason you could see why that is the case is basically because of this. The government announced higher than expected unemployment numbers, right? So it was estimated at 220,000. And guess what? It comes in at 242,000. So that's 40,000 more than was expected. And it's 17,000 more from the prior month. So the question is, who are these unemployment? What is this unemployment? How does it work? And is that the reason and the consideration for an interest rate drop? And does this actual announcement justify a 25 bips decrease? I don't know, but we will find out. You can see here is the decrease again on Polymarket and on Kalshi. So both sites are showing that. You know, one of the other things that we've been constantly talking about is the new era or the new golden age that we've been talking about. If you've been paying attention to our insights, we're strong believers in the golden age that's going to come about. What is the golden age? Basically, we're going to see it's a phenomenal economic boom as witnessed during a renaissance, a new flourish forward in the economic space around growth, what's going on, how's this going to flourish, etc. Right? So we're really going to see an economic boom that we haven't seen before for a long time. Now, just imagine, you heard previously, we were talking about growth in the US. So if you listened and watched the report, listened to Oliver's presentation, the US economy grew by 3.2% GDP. That's an amazing, right? So think of the base that it's coming off, right? That GDP growth is phenomenal. And so how will Doge impact the economy? What will that unleash, right? Not only are we going to see a huge unleashing there, right? We're also going to see regulatory unleashing. Gary Gensler is out. Crypto is going to rip, right? And you can see here Donald Trump coming out there, and US President-elect Trump says we will be doing something great with crypto, right? So there's going to be a lot of activity in crypto. So stay tuned, buckle up, not just your seatbelt, but actually your full-on jet suit belt, because we're going to see an economic renaissance like experienced during the roaring 20s, right? So that's going to be an amazing feat. And if you haven't seen the blog posts on the golden age, they're coming, they're out there. We're really highlighting and doing a lot of analogies to what and how that unleashed, right? We had the engine, we had the steam engine, we had the trains, we had all of these elements that really took us from the 80s into all the way to, the 1950, well, after World War, 1920, late 20s. So 2028 when we had big crash. But until then, it was really booming and everybody was really benefiting from it. What can we learn so it doesn't happen again and that we can just boom in the same way, all the fronts on technology side and everywhere else? But one thing's amazing. I don't know how you feel about it, but Trump, since he's been elected, it's just he's on a tear. He's everywhere, right? Here he is, with Macron, and here he is with Zelensky, right? Already wheeling and dealing in Paris. Oh, wow, there he goes. Not only is he meeting them, he's then over here. He's meeting with Prince William or Prince William, right? He's not the king yet, but Prince William. He's already having a chat with him. He's then over here, look at this video. I don't know if you've seen this video, but here he is all on a whirlwind tour for the Notre Dame opening. This is all this week, right? So all this week, shaking hands with everybody. Check this out. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's like he goes through everybody that he's meeting here. It was raining, but yeah, they're opening the door. You can watch the whole scene. But look, here he is. There he is. Macron. Again, Macron. A lot of Macron and his wife. I guess it's France, so they're trying to show this in the good light of France. But anyway, you can watch the video. You can see it. But anyway, he meets everybody there. Then all of a sudden over here, guess what? He gets announced as the person of the year in Time Magazine, December 30, 2024, Donald Trump, Time Magazine. And this isn't the first time, right? Remember, he was also in 2016, he was voted person of the year as well. But this time they had a small annotation here, right? Look at this. Back in 2016, it was president of the divided states of America, not the united. So is that a bit of a dig? Is that a rub? I can't remember. But anyway, I just saw that when we saw this picture here. Yeah, he got announced and he's now the person of the year. I think pretty much well-deserved. From being knocked down, he comes back again. Isn't there a song, Humba Wumpa? I get knocked down, but I get up again, and you're never going to keep me down. So yeah, that's what we love. We love the comeback stories. Yeah, so he's done it, and he's back again on the magazine front page. Well done. Congratulations. True feat. And then again, no, not resting, right? Not resting on that. Here he is opening up the New York Stock Exchange.
And I know that there's obviously non-disclosure about being an apprentice judge.
And look, he's got.
But the man is fascinated by the stock market.
Look at that. Everybody's clapping, super happy.
He is no longer just a TV star. He's the incoming leader of the free world. He's going to ring the bell here in about 20 seconds. An historic moment at the New York Stock Exchange as we get this opening bell rung by the president-elect.
And look at that background, person of the year, Time Magazine. I mean, he's brilliant, just amazing marketing, ringing the bell. There you go. Pretty amazing. Just really, I mean, he's everywhere, marketing, out there, in the face, out there, trying to promote, grow, scale. Yeah, amazing energy, and a good refreshing approach to see, for freedom of speech, freedom of community, and commerce. Let commerce rip. Let entrepreneurs who are struggling anyway, for whom it's so hard from the get go. All of a sudden, hopefully, it gets just a little bit easier. So let's see if we can really make that happen. But anyway, that was a lot of activity happening out there, and good to know. And so, yeah, I think the biggest thing right now is the next announcement, which is December 18th. So stay tuned for that, where we have the FOMC announcement. The market is predicting a 25 basis points drop. Is that correct, given that CPI is up, PPI is up, but so is unemployment, higher than unexpected? What are we going to see? Let's see. Anyway, what I wanted to share is a bit of what is going on now with Truflation and what we're working on, right? I don't know if you've seen, but we just did an announcement with Limfid. Here we go. They're a commerce marketplace. What do they do? They're basically a network that allows you to buy crypto secondhand, market, or second market, for a secondary market for luxury items. So you can actually go to Limfid, buy luxury items, and pay in crypto. You have to do a KYC because they're registered in Europe, and some of these items are a bit more than the 50 euro. So regulation again, putting in big barriers for KYC. We in Europe, we love regulation. So let's put on a lot of regulation and make it really difficult for people to spend money and drive commerce and entrepreneurs to generate money, even though how hard they have it anyway, because they have to file. I met a startup the other day. They raised some $600,000 seed funding, and they have nothing to show for it, for a product, because their board, the board, continues to advise them, get licensing, get FINMA regulation, which is the Swiss regulatory body, get make sure you're compliant with law. And so they spent all their funding on lawyers, on compliance, on regulation and licensing, and they didn't even get a license to show for it. In the end, all they got was a I don't know what it's called, some letter that tells you you're not breaking the law type thing, but you're not compliant, and they can retract that at any point in time. So, I mean, they did build product. So they did hustle to build a product, but they had to deal with that from the board. So the board is, that also invested, sort of gave them that pressure. So I felt really supporting, and finding ways to support that project. Really good project. Super energetic entrepreneur, hustle like crazy, and tirelessly, relentlessly keeping at it. So that's what you want. That's the creativity. And if he makes it through this, it's going to be all uphill. So fingers crossed, and giving him all the support we can do. But anyway, we are trying to do the same with Limpid. Limpid is, great site. Check it out. You can go, and we're going to be doing something really well together with them. Why? Because what we're trying to do is take some of their pricing data for these products and then build out and enable those real world items to then be included in specific indexes, maybe in the CPI calculations, because ultimately the cost of a Rolex watch, the cost of a Gucci handbag and shoes, Jimmy Choo shoes, all have an impact on the economy, but also allows people to be able to trade on the value of such items. And so we're excited on partnering with Limpid around that. And they love flat coins, or inflation-proof stable coins, or yield-bearing stable coins. So anyway, that's sort of what they're working on, and it's really interesting to see. And we're glad to be partnering with them and having their data feeds included in the Truth Network. Which sort of brings me to the next point, right? I've shared this graph before, and you've all seen the fact that we at Truflation Network have built this decentralized economic database for anybody to access. And It is connected to a number of different parties beyond Truflation. It's Index.fund is using it for oracles for their prediction market and for the development of a creator tool that they've got for the creation of indexes. So any of you can go and create an index. And then at the same time, it's also used the CPI index for the inflation protection for nuanced coin holders. That's coming live, by the way, in the new year. So stay tuned to that. And there'll be some interesting aspects that those two protocols will be offering to truth holders and staking partners. So stay tuned to that. We'll be announcing a bit more around that over the next time. And then ultimately, Truflation has been connecting to all the EVMs and the respective chains out there. Largely with Chainlink. So we're really happy working with Chainlink to enable us to connect to all these different networks. And we're really happy with our two investors and what they've managed to achieve in collaborating. Coinbase and Chainlink have been working around the Coinbase Project Diamond initiative. And what does Project Diamond do? It really tokenizes and brings onto the blockchain asset management capabilities, and Chainlink is enabling that facility by bringing that to all the chains and to the TradFi world. So it's getting easier for TradFi to participate in the assets that have been brought on chain by Project Diamond from Coinbase. So we'll be explaining a bit more about that in another post. So stay tuned to that. Subscribe to our Twitter. We're just trying to share more of what's going on. But one of the most important things is in the Truflation network encounter, when we talk to exchanges, when we talk to market makers, when we talk to our community, when we talk to customers, we come across two big problems. One, the decentralized database economic database is one infrastructure project that has projects building on top of it that is very much targeted at developers. So if that's targeted at developers and growing at developers, the other aspect of the business, Truflation.com, is very much focused at financial engineers, hedge fund managers. And what do they care about? They care about money. They care about inflation. They care about the price of gold, silver, all of the inflation correlated assets. They care about the composition of the table of inflation, housing, transportation, food, utilities, shelter, etc., etc. Healthcare, education, all of those matter to the CPI and those aspects. Labor data, how do they care about that stuff? So what does that mean for Truflation? And when we talk to exchanges, and all they think is, oh, you're Truflation, you're just doing inflation. They don't see the big infrastructure that's actually being built out. So what we're introducing is a separation between Truflation and the Truth Network. Truth.network and Truflation will be two separate brands. Truth.network will be the underlying infrastructure, the decentralized economic database, and Truflation will be the new front end that is targeted at financial consumers. And so you can see already here, go to Truflation.com, see the new database. It's clean. No more reference to infrastructure and token and governance and migration portals and all of that, but just straight into indexes, pricing, resources. I got an inflation calculator. I got blogs. I can get my reports and hear about us and the ecosystem that we're working with. You can see here, big tabs, inflation, US, 3.06%, as we talked about. Aggregated inflation, Argentina aggregated inflation. Bear in mind, this is since 2020, right? So 2020 to today. So that's why it's 2,400%. It's only 100% the last year, and it's down to a month on month down to 2%. So phenomenal job in Argentina, and that's what deregulation does. Again, just highlighting the fact that deregulation is there. Hey, just seeing some comment from Alfredo Alp. Amazing. Yeah, thank you for supporting Truflation. Yeah, so keep supporting us. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And that's why we're continuing to build. We're still at it and putting all of our efforts into just making this a success and turning this around with you, for you, and for companies. But here you can see for the financial services sector, and here you can see all the different indexes that we've got, a new interface, and here you can see some of the other indexes. This is just launched today. It's just live. So, and you can calculate your own personal inflation. So take a look. Here you can see some of the trending data streams. We'll have more of the economic data there, the underlying assets and the compositions. So Moreno and his team are working at it at Truflation. So excited to see that. But here you can see, what were we trying to do? We're trying to highlight the fact that Truflation provides you with a 99.9% accuracy on prediction. We've forecasted that. We've enabled that. Not only that, we're also giving you a 2-week lead time on the movement of inflation with a 1-month advance notice. We do this real time, not on a month-by-month basis. So you don't need to wait another month to see what the trend is. You're seeing the trend already today, right now, here, 2 weeks ahead of where the government will announce it in 1 month's time. So just to give you some advance notice, you have the ability to do that. And if you don't use this data, you will be missing out where others are gaining on the opportunity. So that's what we're trying to highlight. That's what Truflation is, and that is who Truflation is targeting. And that's why it has a very different user interface, a different front end. And you can see here, just to show that Argentina is actually coming down. Look at this inflation drop since Milei's taken in. Bang, 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 down the step every single time. And it's down to 122% year on year, continuously coming down. And this is below the government rate, which is 271.5. So still way below. So you can see that trend. What does that mean for you? How are you going to invest, and what are you going to do in Argentina for that? And we've got some really interesting activity coming around Argentina where we won't have these big leaps anymore because we're getting more and more data from Argentina. So that's being ingested into the Truth network. Why is that Truth network so important? So here now we have the Truth network. And remember, I was talking about the difference. We're targeting Truth network for developers, right? This is Truflation's target for the financial services sector and Truth network for developers. Why? Because here you can see in the Truflation network that the focus is really integrating with other EVMs, with centralized exchanges, with DEXs across the different exchanges, with prediction markets across the different blockchains, etc. Right? And so that's what Truflation's focused on. So we need documentation on that side. We need documentation for the projects in the stablecoin market, like Nuon, in lending protocols like RealFi, in Index.Fund, which also is a prediction market, which has a creator tool, leveraging the data, allowing anybody to create an index, governing that index. Those are all developer engagements. And that's why we built out the Truth network to focus on that sector. This is a website. It's not yet finished. It'll be end of next week. It'll be live. But here, immediately, start building. Work with the Truth networks. Here are your documentations. I can go to GitHub. I can go and get SDKs for Golang, TypeScript. Want to be a node operator? What's it take to log on to a node operator? All the documentation is here. I have bounties. What are the bounties? We just work on building out a bounty marketplace. So here you can see integration, and here get a task and job, and you get paid for the job that you complete and it's assigned to individuals. So when they're assigned, you don't need to go for it anymore. It is not available anymore. So it won't be just a free for all bounty, first come first serve, but it will be open to anybody. But you see all of this over here. You see all of the details over here, right? So you can see all of the documentation for any developer to come and pick up. So that's really what we've been focused on and really trying to develop and build out. And what does the Truth network look like? How is that utility evolving? So this infrastructure, Truth network, is evolving, right? And it's really, we mentioned, we've already got node operators. We've got 20 plus node operators now working on keeping and maintaining the decentralized economic database live, verifying the data with our smart SQL contracts, our SQL smart contracts, and using the Bitcomet BFT algo. And so that's what is taking place on the Truth Network, which is aggregating vast volumes of real world data across the US, UK, Argentina, and India. And it's only growing, that economic database, pricing information across your secondhand Gucci handbags and Jimmy Choo shoes, all the way through to the labor data, through to the price of eggs on the shelf in a store in Argentina, to the take-home food, home delivery food in India, and the steak that you get, the ribeye, at a restaurant in Argentina. So all of that is now being aggregated on this decentralized database together with our partners. So you can see that's the Truth Network. We have data providers. We have now some 80 plus data providers delivering over 100 million data points and price points into the Truth Network, and they're being remunerated in Truth tokens. Consumers of that data are paying in Truth tokens to receive that. So the likes of Index.Fund, of Nuon, of other lending protocols, RealFi, and Inflation.com, who will be consuming it, or the customers consuming the data from Truflation.com, will be paying in Truth to the network. So Truflation will be, but not the customers of Truflation. Ultimately, they'll be paying in whatever token is necessary for interaction with that. And the Truth Network will work with different blockchains, layer ones and layer twos, as well as with different exchanges on those blockchains and lending protocols and prediction markets on those different blockchains to be able to interact with the price feeds and index feeds that they receive from the Truth Network. So that's what we've been working on. That's the difference between Truth Network and Truflation, and hope that's very clear. We just wanted to share that with you and highlight that what we've been working on over the last couple of months, despite all the distractions that we've been having. In fact, maybe more than months. We've been sort of planning for this. We wanted to launch this a lot sooner, but we've just been busy on really leaning in to moving everything else forward and having to deal with certain distractions that pulled us sideways, which we don't want to talk about anymore. But I hope that gave you a bit of an update of what we're doing. I don't know if there are any questions, but yeah, it's all moving forward. We're going to be announcing the new websites for both Truflation as well as for the Truth Network. I just wanted to share that with you here first. And we will be communicating a lot more about this over time. And what does that mean? What's that mean with the Truth token, Truflation? Now it is a part of the Truth Network, and the Truth Network is really where the utility lies for the token. A lot of you have been asking, how does the token utility work? Hopefully this gives you a bit of an insight into how that now works. It should do. And it's a lot clearer and a lot more transparent. A lot of the exchanges, the market makers, and investors actually really like this direction, and it makes a lot of sense for everybody. So yeah, we just wanted to unleash Truflation from the Truth Network and unlock the power and the value hidden in the Truth Network and the Truth token as a result of it being the utility token behind the Truth Network. So take a look. Hope you enjoyed the show. Keep us updated. Lots going on. We've got a couple of really interesting announcements going out around the economy and what's coming out. And stay tuned. Stay abreast. You see what some of the ecosystem what is taking place across the Truflation ecosystem, and what that means for you as Truth natives in the Truth Network, and what, by participating in the Truth Network, how that ecosystem can be beneficial to Truth participants in this. especially given what and the timing associated with these projects that are launching and building off the Truth Network, where they're going to be going. Stay tuned. Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. I wish you a great weekend, even though it's only Thursday. But depending where you're at, you'll be watching this on Friday morning. So you've got one day left, and it's going to be a great, great 2025. But we still got 3 weeks left before the end of the year. So let's hustle. Let's work to the end of the year. That's the goalpost. And then we can start a clean slate in 2025. Even though there's no clean slate, there's no real handover. It just rolls on, right? There's no difference other than there's a big ball dropping, depending where you are in the world, or fireworks going off, depending where you are in the world, or just popping champagne bottles and or hiding behind a screen and trading and or building, coding, whatever your preference might be. But from a watch standpoint, all the numbers go from 2024 to 2025. And we got 3 weeks to get there. And let's make it a blast of the last 3 weeks. And looking forward to the golden age in 2025. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to our channels. If you do, it just gives us confirmation that this is of value to you and you are appreciating this, and we will share more. We do this every single Tuesday and Thursday, same time. So if you like it, sign up. If you have suggestions, if you like some of the content, you want to cut things out, change it around, it's up to you to do that. Please help us scale this. And if you think it's valuable, then even more so. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend and see you again, same time Tuesday.